All right, what's going on, guys? I know you haven't really heard too much from me today. Besides, um, I think when I went to Ross and um, that was about it. I think no, and City Trend. I'm sorry, but anyway, I did pick up two fragrances as you guys saw, and I am going to return them because they are not uh, what I expected. Now, one of them did in the store get me compliment, um, which made me keep them. Because usually, what I do is I'll go to Ross, because our Ross, and I'm not speaking for everybody's Ross, because this caused a big argument one time, or disagreement, or whatever you want to call it, one time before, and I said that our Ross takes back everything, no matter what. If it's, cologne, perfume, clothes, pictures, picture frames, pillows, whatever, they take back everything. They don't give a shit. Now, somebody told me that their Ross in another city somewhere, they don't do that. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but here they do. So, what I usually do is, instead of coming all the way back home, opening them up, and then turning around and taking them all the way back, what I do is have my receipt in hand, and I will stand at the end of the register out of the way, and they know me for this. I'll open them from the bottom, like I did, and pull the fragrance out, and then smell them. And if I like them, I'll keep them. If I don't like them, then I'll return them right then and swap it out either for something different, or I'll get my money back. Well, for these two fragrances, Kenneth Cole RS VP and 23 by Michael Jordan, I paid a total of $32.08. Kenneth Cole was $16.99 and the Jordan was $12.99, which came up to $29.98 plus tax, $2.10, which put me at $32.08. When I sprayed the first one, which was the RSVP, there was a lady, a Caucasian lady, standing at the register checking out. And when I sprayed it, the young lady behind the register was like, how does it smell? And I said, it's okay. And this is the hand I sprayed it on. And it's faint, like it's almost gone. I said, it's okay. And the lady in front of her at the register was like, I like it. It smells nice. It smells clean. It's not overpowering. It's not strong. It's not one of them where you lean back and be like, oh, you too close because your cologne is too strong. She said she liked it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take a woman's advice. If she says it's good, then I'm going to keep it. Well, as time went on, for me, it just doesn't do it. I know some people do or have done reviews on it, and they say it's pretty decent fragrance, and I've been wanting to try it now for some time. It's just not for me. And so these two are going back. 23, when I sprayed it on this hand, it was a clean smell. It was just one of those. Both of these are really just average colognes, like Dumb Reach scents. And I'm not really looking for any more Dumb Reach scents. I have plenty of those, and I'm actually trying to get rid of them and get some more quality type stuff. So if I have to package deals, 2, 3, or 4 of those Dumb Reach scents for something, a little bit more better in quality, then that's what I'll do. Or I could just give them as gifts. But I'm not looking for any more Dumb Reach scents. So these two are going back. Matter of fact, I'm going in a few minutes because somebody came by for me to check their music out in their vehicle. And yes, your boy is a jack of all trades. Not only do I do floors, stripping and waxing floors, I also am very handy when it comes to fixing things. I'm not licensed, but I've been doing this since I was a teenager, I do stereo and audio installation in vehicles. I put in TVs. I can mount TVs from the ceiling. I put in amps, speakers, door speakers, dash speakers, in-dash TVs. I do all that stuff. So I have almost everything I need to do that. That is really what I initially wanted to do when I was younger, was start up a shop. But I didn't know that you had to go to school for a lot of that electrical stuff. You have to be certified, and I just do it on the side now. So if somebody, not so much now, but I was booming back when I was younger. It's kind of hard for me to be climbing in and out of trunks now, me being as heavy as I am now. I used to be like 150. Now I'm almost 300 if I'm not 300. It don't look like it, but it's mostly my height. But and I'm a lot beefier than I used to be also. But yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, man. I do some of everything. Another thing I want to talk about was a fragrance that I wore yesterday to work, and it was Vince Camuto Homme, and I'm not sure if I talked about this yesterday, but I smelled Vince Camuto fragrances in Walmart some years back, and I wasn't impressed. I wasn't thrilled by them. They smelled cheap. I don't like using the word synthetic or generic, but they smelled kind of cheap, like they were like uninspired. Like he just put something together and put it out just to make money. So one day I was in TJ Maxx and I didn't see anything worth buying, and I actually picked up this one because it was, you know, pretty cheap, and it has a nice box and bottle presentation. It looks like leather, but I'm pretty sure it's like some cheap pleather or something like that. But either way, it looks pretty nice. I like it. Top does snap into place. It has a nice sprayer. That's pretty good. Decent amount of juice. If you can see, my arm is wet right here. It's not bad. Now, I told my guy over in Fragrance Obsessions, I sent him a picture of this, and he said that he's going to be on the lookout for this one. They also have an orange box. I think they have 2 other colors. I can't remember what they are, but this one to me right now is the best because I don't even remember what the other, you know, ones smell like, but I don't remember. But this one is nice. The sweetness in this one kind of puts me in the mind frame of fragrances like Mandarina Duck, in which this is far superior. Mont Blanc Emblem, the sweetness in that, it kind of reminds me of that. It's not as syrupy sweet as Sculpture Homme, but it still puts me in the same mind frame of it. And also Bentley Momentum. This one actually is maybe a lot less sweet than the Vince Camuto, but it still puts me in the mind frame of it. And I'm not saying, don't get it twisted, I'm not saying that this smells like those fragrances. Don't get that twisted, guys. So don't think that when you run out and buy this, that this is what you're going to get, one of these type fragrances. No, I'm just saying the scent, the smell of it, the sweetness reminds me of those fragrances. It has that same kind of sweet vibe, and I'm guaranteeing that if you have this one and you spray it, somebody is going to notice it, especially within that first however much time you get through projection. Somebody is going to notice it. This is pretty damn good for the price I paid for it. I think I paid like between 15 and 20 bucks for a 50 ml at TJ Maxx, so that really wasn't a bad deal for me. So if you see this, don't pass it. Give it a shot. I don't remember exactly how long this lasted as far as projection, but longevity, I probably got close to 4.5, 5 hours of longevity out of it. You know, I work, my second job is exactly 5 hours from 5 to 10. And when I left that night, it was after 10. I sweated and everything when I was stripping and waxing the floors, and I can still smell it on me, especially coming off of my shirt. It still was projecting, but off my skin, it was visible. It was noticeable. It wasn't strong, but I could still smell it on my skin. So that's not bad. If you can get at least 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours of longevity out of a fragrance, that's cool, especially for a cheapie. I know people expect more when they pay more for fragrances, and I don't blame you. I would too. But you know, if you can get 4.5, 5 hours of decent longevity out of it, maybe an hour and a half, close to 2 hours projection, I'm satisfied with an hour and a half of projection, depending on how much I paid for it. Because, like me, I don't mind reapplying, man. Like some people, they jump on and they think that everything they get is supposed to get you like 3, 4 hours, 5 hours of projection, and like 29,000 hours of longevity. Like, come on, man. Let's be realistic. We know a lot of this stuff has been reformulated. It's not going to perform like it used to. Body chemistry is a big thing. Hygiene is a big thing. If you're using scented lotion and you putting on a scent like a cologne or perfume or something like that, you know it's going to clash with something else. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors. If you're wearing a fragrance that's not supposed to be worn in the heat, of course, it's probably not going to perform. If you're wearing something that's not supposed to be worn in the cold, of course, it's not going to perform. So, stop judging fragrances just because you don't get but an hour and a half of projection and like 3, 4, or 5 hours of longevity. That's why they make decant bottles and stuff like that, so you can take the stuff with you. I take the full bottle with me. I stick it in my bag and take it with me, and whenever I'm in the equipment room at the hospital, I just reapply if I need to and go about my business. I'm not one of them guys who sits and complains, oh my God, this only lasted an hour projection and gave me like 3 hours of longevity. Who gives a fuck? Like, reapply. I know it gets annoying sometimes, but if you got a decant bottle and you can put it in your pocket, come on, man. Like, it's not that serious. It's really not. And these bottles come easier and easier to fill with time. They got this little thing on the bottom. You pop the top off. You put this on. Skeet, 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 skeet. And go on about your business. It's just that simple. Come on, man. Next up, I want to talk about, and I know he probably, if he watches this video, he probably noticed this. This is from Cottrell Evans. I think he sent me some fragrances before. When I first really started doing fragrances, fragrance reviews, and I can't even remember which one this was he sent. I looked at it just before I started doing the video. But I'm actually going to save this until I can remember what it was that this is, because he sent me some information about it through email. So just know that Cottrell, I got it. It's here. It came earlier today, and I'll do my review on it a little later, maybe tomorrow. I was supposed to be going to the movies with my daughter, but circumstances changed. I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff on here, but it looks like I'm going to be in the house for tonight, so it is what it is. I don't mind, and if I come up with something, I might try to do like my summer list, because I know you guys be wanting me to do lists, top 10, top 5, top whatever, top this and that. Sometimes I be in the mood for it. Sometimes I don't. I just don't be wanting to stand in front of all this shit I got and pick fragrances. So that's something that I might do in a few minutes. Just do maybe my summer list. what I have in my collection. So stay tuned for that. I'm out. Peace.